Every year, millions of people walk into a breeder's home or a pet store, see a puppy, and hand over anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 on the spot. And nobody can really blame them. Puppies are hard to resist. But here's what most buyers don't find out until they're already home, already in love, and already too attached to walk away. The dog they just paid thousands for is carrying genetic health problems the breeder knew about, or the champion bloodline paperwork is worth less than the paper it's printed on, or the sweet, gentle puppy they met at the breeder's house turns into a completely different animal once the stress kicks in. This video isn't about scaring you away from buying a dog. It's about making sure that if you do, you walk in with your eyes open. So let's get into it. The first thing a reputable breeder will tell you is that their dogs are health tested. And that sounds great. The problem is that phrase means almost nothing without specifics. Here's the difference. A health test is a screening. A health clearance means the dog passed. And a breeder who only says health tested without showing you the actual results may be telling you technically true information while hiding the fact that the dog failed. For most purebred dogs, there are breed-specific health clearances that reputable breeders should have on file. For German Shepherds, that includes hip and elbow certifications from the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals, or OFA. For Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, it's cardiac exams and MRI screenings for a neurological condition called syringomyelia. For Labrador Retrievers, it's eye clearances and hip scores. All of these results are publicly searchable on the OFA website. If a breeder can't give you registered numbers so that you can verify the results yourself, that's not a minor oversight, that's a red flag. Now, why does this matter financially? Hip dysplasia surgery in a large breed dog runs between $3,500 and $7,000 per hip. Cardiac issues in Cavaliers can mean lifelong medication starting at $100 a month or more. These aren't rare outcomes, they're predictable outcomes when breeders skip the testing because it's expensive and inconvenient. A good breeder pays for these tests because they care about the dogs they're producing. A breeder who skips them is passing that cost directly to you, just on a delayed payment plan. But the health testing issue is only one layer of this. The paperwork problem goes even deeper. If you've ever bought a purebred dog, chances are the breeder mentioned AKC registration. And to a lot of buyers, those three letters feel like a quality guarantee. They're not. The American Kennel Club is a registry. That's it. They track lineage and issue papers based on what breeders report to them. The AKC does not inspect breeders' facilities. They do not verify health testing. They do not confirm that the sire and the dam are actually the dogs listed on the paperwork. A puppy mill will have fully AKC registered dogs. A backyard breeder with zero health testing can produce AKC registered litters. What AKC registration does tell you is that assuming the paperwork is accurate, both parents were registered purebreds of the same breed. That's genuinely useful for predicting what your dog will look like and what traits to expect, but it says nothing about whether the breeding was responsible. The registration that actually carries weight is membership in a breed-specific health program. For example, the Canine Health Information Centre, or CHIC certification, means a dog has completed all the health testing recommended for its breed by its National Breed Club. That's a meaningful standard. AKC papers alone are not. So when a breeder leads with "all our puppies come with AKC papers," your response should be polite and simple. Great. Can I also see the OFA and CHIC clearances for both parents? A breeder who gets defensive at that question is telling you something. And speaking of red flags, there's one tactic some breeders use that almost always goes unnoticed until it's too late. Here's something breeders rarely volunteer. There is a hard biological deadline for socialising a dog, and it closes when the puppy is between 12 and 16 weeks old. During those first weeks of life, a puppy's brain is forming its understanding of what is normal and what is scary. Every sound, every surface, every type of person they encounter during that window shapes how they'll respond to the world for the rest of their lives. A puppy raised in a clean but isolated kennel with no exposure to children, other animals, traffic sounds, or different types of people will often develop fear responses and anxiety that no amount of training can fully resolve. Not because the dog is flawed, because the window closed before anybody opened it. Ask any breeder you're considering what their socialization protocol looks like. Specifically, ask what sounds, surfaces, and experiences the puppies are exposed to before they go home. Ask if puppies are raised in the home with regular human contact or in a separate kennel facility. Breeders who follow structured programs like puppy culture or the Avidog framework will know exactly what you're asking about and be proud to tell you. Breeders who look confused or brush off the question are likely not prioritising it. The difference between a dog that's easy to live with and one that's a constant management challenge often comes down entirely to those first 16 weeks. Not genetics, not training, socialisation. Now here's the one that really catches people off guard. One of the most common ways buyers get overcharged is through what breeders call rare or exotic colours. You've probably seen them. Merle French Bulldogs, Isabella Dobermans, rare white German Shepherds. Here's what the breeder's website won't tell you. In many breeds, those colours are either disqualified by the breed standard for good reason, or they're actively linked to serious health conditions. The Merle gene, when two copies are inherited, causes what's called double Merle. Dogs with two copies of the gene are born with a high likelihood of blindness, deafness, or both. Irresponsible breeders produce these dogs by producing two Merle parents together, knowing full well what the genetic outcome is, because the colours sell for more money. In Dobermans, the blue or Isabella coat colours are associated with colour dilution alopecia, a chronic skin condition that causes hair loss and recurring infections. The cruel irony is that buyers are often paying a premium of $500 to $1,000 over standard pricing for a dog that has a higher statistical chance of expensive medical needs. Before you pay extra for a rare colour, look up whether that colour is recognised by the breed's national club. If it's not, ask why. So, given everything we've covered, what does a responsible breeder actually look like? Here are 5 questions to ask before you hand over a single dollar. Not just a vet certificate, actual OFA or CHIC clearance numbers that you can verify yourself online. If they can't provide those, walk away. Puppies raised in a home with regular family contact are almost always better socialised than those raised in a separate kennel. Ask to see where they actually live, not just where they're presented. Responsible breeders rarely have puppies available immediately. If someone always has puppies ready to go, they're likely breeding too frequently to prioritise the health of their dogs. A responsible breeder cares where their dogs end up. Every reputable breeder should have a return policy that ensures their dogs never end up in a shelter. References. Ask for them. A breeder with nothing to hide will connect you with people who bought from previous litters. The right breeder will not only answer these questions, they'll be glad that you asked. That's how you know you're in the right place. Buying a dog is one of the longest commitments you'll make. The average dog lives 10 to 15 years. That's 10 to 15 years of vet bills, food, time, and love. Taking an extra 2 to 4 weeks to vet a breeder properly rather than buying the first available puppy is the difference between a dog that thrives and a dog that spends years in and out of vet offices. If you found this helpful, check out the video on screen now. It covers what you actually look for when you visit a breeder in person, which is where most people get caught off guard. And subscribe if you want more content that helps you make smarter decisions for your dog.